What's up, you guys? John Garms with Selling North Dallas here. If you're thinking about moving to North Texas and or love sexy men with gray beards, hit that subscribe button and ring-a-ling that bell.
All right, so I've pulled a couple of homes. Let's say, hypothetically, you're looking at Dallas, Texas, and you want to know what you can get for the money. So I've grabbed two different properties, two completely different parts of the city, so that we can do a compare and contrast. For example, property number one is a home in Dallas. Very nice. It's a 2017 build, 4 bedrooms, 3 full baths. It's got a pool. It's got a spool. Not a hot tub, but it's a pool, but it's more for maxing, relaxing, shooting some b-ball outside of the school. That's something else. I would say a step saver backyard. Cute, well laid out, but not a lot of room to run your golden doodle in the backyard. Similarly with the driveway, it's essentially big enough to fit one car. And if you try to park on the right side of the driveway, you're gonna be in the sidewalk. Cute little neighborhood. It almost has a feel like a condominium because the homes are so close together. And some people love that. It's less maintenance, yard work, things like that. You can pull all the weeds in probably 5 minutes if there were weeds, right? The lot size, 0.079. So you basically have about 6 feet all the way around the house, a little more in the backyard, but that's, as you can see, I did not just say, as you can see. One of the things I pride myself on is eliminating the phrase, as you can see. If you ever watch real estate videos, that's probably the most overused phrase in real estate. And as you can see, or as you can see here, I didn't just say that. You may think you just heard it, but you misheard, because I would never say that. All right, so the backyard, teeny tiny, but you've got a great space to entertain. You've got the pool. I mean, this is my kind of backyard, although Boulder Puppy would not approve. Property number one, living in and around White Rock Lake is synonymous with folks that probably bend more towards an active lifestyle. White Rock Lake is a beautiful lake. It's a part of the Dallas City Park system and Dallas Parks and Recreation. In fact, if you go to dallasparks.org and then hover over Parks and Trails, and you'll see a link here for White Rock Lake. White Rock Lake is a city lake, inner city lake, and it's 9.4 miles all the way around it. So maybe you're a runner or you like to walk and you want to be in close proximity. Living in this area might be perfect for you. It's arguably some of the prettiest trails and walking paths in the entire DFW metro area, but maybe you want to go for a walk on your lunch break and not be a 30 or a 45-minute drive away from it, but you want to walk to it. Things like that might lend themselves to living in or around White Rock Lake, to say nothing of your proximity to downtown Dallas and all that it has to offer with upscale restaurants and shopping and the Dallas Arboretum. Now you got some touristy stuff like Dealey Plaza and those types of things, but the Perot Museum of Art, someone that wants to live in that area wants easy and quick access to those amenities. Whereas I'm up in Prosper, 30 miles to the north of downtown. It's all easy to get to it, but I'm not just gonna run down on my lunch break and do a stroll around White Rock Lake, right? So it makes more sense for me to be where I'm at. But if you're someone that really loves to just roll out of bed, have some coffee, and then go for a walk right there, it might make sense for you to be in close proximity to that area. So if that's appealing to you, you definitely want to put this one on the list. Hopefully you're enjoying this so far, and you might be getting all lathered up, wondering what's next. So I'm going to go ahead and put my phone number on the screen. If you want to talk about this stuff or what it might look like for you to live in Dallas or work in Dallas, specifically Dallas or this particular area, give me a call, shoot me a text. You can fill this form out. We'll be in contact, run you through some questions and get a feel for what might be best for you in your specific situation. Here we go, house number 2. Now, before we get into the details of the property, a little bit about the area. Frisco is, well, how can I say this? We've said for years, we live in Frisco, but we sleep in Prosper. We probably spend more time in the city of Frisco than anywhere else. It's just a couple of minutes to the south of where we are, but restaurants, shopping, if you want to go to the mall, Frisco is the closest mall that we have access to, being in Prosper. If you've got a kiddo in sports, there's arguably nowhere better in the country that you could be raising that kid if sports are in their immediate or distant future than Frisco, Texas. Irrespective of the sport. Of course, you got your football, baseball, basketball, but wrestling, lacrosse. Our daughter was involved in the girls lacrosse program in Frisco, and they dominate. If it's a sport, Frisco has something to offer, but not just the facilities, but also access to trainers and speed and conditioning and development within the sports modalities. Frisco is amazing for sports. You've also got the Star, which is where the Dallas Cowboys have their practice facility. And in and around the Star, upscale shopping, restaurants. It's a great location from a tourist perspective, but it's also a great hangout for locals. Frisco is arguably one of the fastest growing cities in the country. Depending on what expert you listen to, there's a lot of development out here. And sometimes people say, well, Frisco's landlocked, you really can't go anywhere else. No, there's still a large portion of Frisco that's still being developed. But the appreciation in the area is massive. And I'm not trying to sell you Frisco over Dallas, but it really comes down to what's important to you. A house aside, how do you spend your free time?
I love to dance. I like music.
Where you spend your money, how you spend your time might add a little bit more clarity to, does one part of the city shine over another? Probably couldn't find two properties more uniquely set up. One in a neighborhood, one that's, I guess they're both technically in a neighborhood. One that I would say is more set up like a condo. Technically a single family detached property, but the no yard, right? And you're walking distance to retail versus up here in Frisco in the suburbs. And you're in a neighborhood of $1 million properties. I guess you're in a neighborhood of $1 million properties in both of them. But like take this one, for example, good sized backyard, but you only have one neighbor. You're technically on the end, although it's not a corner lot, but because of how the alley's set up. Now look at how all of these houses have the gates off of their rear entry garage. Actually, this one over here is the only one that I see that doesn't. You know, we've talked about this before. To me, that is just such a no-brainer. You almost double the size of your backyard. So when you're pulling in the alley, you hit a button, the gate opens up, you pull in, you shut the gate, and you can leave the garage door up, you can leave it shut. I see some people that'll build pergolas like this one, or almost like a carport. I'm gonna use carport because I grew up as a redneck. I'm just kidding, Mom. I'm not kidding, Dad. But then you've got some shade over the driveway in the back. So, which one do you like? Do you fancy yourself more of a city person that wants to be able to walk to your favorite Chinese restaurant, or walk to a Chinese restaurant, or one where you're probably gonna have to drive somewhere between 5 and 15 minutes to get to a Chinese restaurant, right? The differences are plentiful. I don't know that one is better than the other. I have my opinion, but you're not interested in my opinion. I want to know what your opinion is. So down in the comments, or just put, do you like the city? You like the bigger house? More, you get more for the money? Or are you more a convenience to the city? I think anyone would say that both houses are very nicely appointed. I had a very nice time. I love showing you around. Have I ever told you that? Like, I don't want to be weird, but I enjoy our time together. So now I'm gonna go home. I'm going to see how much damage I just did to this tire backing into the curb. You don't have to be real smart to work here. So at this point, you may be asking yourself, John, this all sounds great. What's next? I want somebody that I can talk to break this process down and help me decide, do I end up in this part of the city or another part? Well, if you're thinking that, I'm glad you asked. There's a phone number in the description. Give us a call, shoot us a text, fill out the link to the form, and we'll reach out to you and we'll walk you through this stuff. We're really good at taking a lot of the mystery out of it and letting you know what areas might be more favorable for you and all the folks involved in the decision on where in the city you end up. So until next time, thanks for hanging out. If you want to stick around, this next video is one of my favorites. I get a lot of kudos on it. Okay, my mom likes it, so hopefully you like it too.